Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. I was watching, or rather listening to a few podcasts yesterday, and one of them that came up was Dave Smith. And I enjoy his podcast. He's a fellow libertarian. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything everybody says. But there is one thing I do definitely agree with him on, and that is this tendency for the elites to try and take the upper hand by simply being elite. The claim of expertise diminishing the opinion of someone else is something that should not be tolerated. So there is a place and a time for that kind of thing in life. I'm not going to go to my plumber and ask my plumber if I should have surgery. And I'm not going to go to my surgeon and ask him about plumbing. So there is a time and a place for that thing, for that flexing of specific knowledge that people garner through education or experience. Here's the thing. When you start talking about the political realm, I've yet to meet anybody, whether they have a degree in politics or a degree in communication or a degree in journalism or a degree in anything. When it comes to politics, everybody's point of view, everybody's opinion should be taken with an open mind. That's not to say that we're going to go to the KKK and listen to them spew on about their political opinions. Obviously, they are something that is not to be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. And they have an agenda, and we know their agenda, so we are trying to avoid their agenda at all cost. Meanwhile, if we flip the coin and we go the other direction, and we look at the media, and the media is putting out opinion pieces dressed up as news, well, that's a completely different situation. The professionals can do as much damage as the amateurs in this line of thought. The ability for professional journalists to damage the world is great when everything that they do is taken at face value without any deeper exploration. So Douglas Murray and Dave Smith are at it again. Murray doesn't seem to want to let this go. And of course, Smith is not going to let anything that is said about him go unchallenged. The latest thing is someone called Alex Presner, something like that. I don't know. I kind of looked into it a little bit, and they're going at it pretty hot and heavy. It is interesting to me that the left still exercises attack character over present a better argument tactic. That particular tactic is so old and blatant now that it's called out almost immediately when it spews forth from their mouth. Douglas Murray, being on the right, not the left, used that tactic during the Rogan debate, and it failed him miserably. The idea that what I say is true because I am an expert, that doesn't always work. And it's not working in this case. And the problem is, if 90% of what you're saying is an attack on the person you're debating instead of an attack on the person's arguments, you've already lost the war. You've already lost the debate. So whether I agree with Dave Smith about Gaza and Israel is irrelevant. Your tactics aren't working. You're making a huge mistake by attacking someone who has sway over so many other people. And maybe sway is the wrong word. Slight influence. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that Smith says, but I do enjoy his podcast and I enjoy his point of view, and I have I have changed my mind on a few things that he said, based in fact. Some of the things he says, based in theory, I have disagreements about. The idea that he is anti-Jewish or an anti-Semite is ridiculous. One of his best friends is Jewish. He's Jewish. I haven't looked into it, but he says that his grandparents and many of his relatives died in the Holocaust. Maybe not his grandparents. I think he said they escaped. So I can't verify or deny that. That's ridiculous. But now there's someone saying if you don't have proof of that, don't bring it up again. Is Smith going to put out his whole history so that you're satisfied? Tell you what, if you think that he's lying, it's your job as a debater to prove he's lying. Calling the man an anti-Semite is really ridiculous when he doesn't agree with the state of Israel's point of view. Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. You are failing to put forth facts that support your point of view. It's really sad to me to see these very smart people falling on those weak tactics. Stop it. You're the elite? Okay, act elite. Let's see some facts. Stop attacking people's character and prove your point. That's kind of the idea of debate. That's also kind of the idea of the, what do they call it, the marketplace of ideas. The best idea rises to the top, whether you're a plumber or a philosopher. So, every time they do, and I followed Douglas Murray for a while, but anytime Smith came up, he got very condescending. He lost that debate. That's got to hurt. But you lick your wounds and you move on. And now he's taken to calling him Comic Dave Smith. Yeah. Smith is definitely a comedian, and I don't think that he minds that moniker, but your attitude is doing yourself more harm. It's not helping you change the mind of people who think different than you. Maybe they're not the ones whose mind needs to be changed. Today's Thursday. Yesterday was a rough day. I broke down. It's part of trucking. Oh yeah, I'm a truck driver, but I got some opinions of my own. Whether you're an elite or a political scientist or a philosopher, I don't care. If you're going to come at me with political beliefs or philosophies or science, bring the facts. How does the generation say it? Bring the receipts. Because I want to see the receipts. Beyond that, everything's opinion. And my opinion is just as valid as anyone else's. Including yours. Either one of you. 2 listeners that are listening. I think I'm up to 4 regular listeners now, which is really odd. I've doubled my listener base. I'm still having a good time making these videos. I'm sure they'll never go anywhere, but I don't know, I guess it's akin to a diary. I'm kind of cutting loose and letting flow my morning thoughts. And that's exactly what this is. It's just kind of it's not planned. I don't have any notes. I got 2 pieces of paper here. I got a piece of mail for the wife, and I got a flyer. I don't normally do notes. I just kind of go with the flow. That was on my mind this morning when I woke up at 4:30, and it bothers me that people can't look at other people's opinion without the biases of they are not on my level, because that is just weak. Basically, dismissing somebody's opinion when they're presenting their opinion and facts, and saying that they are not worthy of consideration. Well, that's one thing. And I can almost understand that. Not fully, but almost. But to engage in a conversation with them and bring up that they're not worth your time or consideration, that's counterintuitive. You engaged in the conversation with them. And to continue to attack them after the conversation with weak tactics, that's bad form. That's horrible form. But what do I know? I'm just a trucker. Speaking of which, part of trucking is breaking down. And yesterday I broke down. Now, one of the things that a truck driver is responsible for is to secure their load and make sure that no one can mess with their load. So, although I was within 4 miles of home, and we're back, I forgot to shut off my alarm again. Anyway, it is still my responsibility to stick with the truck. So I've always said that one of the hardest parts of my day is going by the house and not being able to stop in. Well, got within 4 miles of the house, broke down, and sat there for 3 hours. I mean, you get paid still. I'm an hourly employee. But still, it's right there, you know. I should just drop this trailer and go on to the house for a while, but you can't do that. You have to stay with the load, stay with the tractor and trailer. But that was a long day, and I still woke up very early today. I've been up for 2 hours, and I don't leave for work for an hour and a half or so. And school's coming back in, so I have to leave a little bit earlier because we live very close to 3 schools, and the traffic is incredible, especially at the beginning of the year when all of the new young scary drivers are going to the high school, to especially those first-year drivers. And kids think they're invincible, so that's an issue too. I had an okay day. I mean, I broke down. That's always a little rough. You get out of the truck and you walk around as much as you can. It was 96 degrees when I broke down, so getting out of the truck and walking around was a limited thing. But I did it 4 or 5 times, and I was doing it every 15 minutes, so I did it a lot just to keep moving and keep the circulation up. But it's still, you get bored. These phones are a godsend for truckers. I sit there and read and watch videos and learn. And evidently the pollen, I'll have to check and see what's in the air, is starting to affect me. But it's Thursday. Gonna go out and try and have a good day. Been sitting here admiring the new T-bar. It's not quite done. I'm hoping she's going to let me drill a hole in it, and that way we can drop the cords through it. And I'd like to put a board up across not the front, but maybe halfway back, and we could put some what do you call those lights? LED strips on the back of it for ambience, and hide the wires. At any rate, I hope you guys have a fantastic Thursday. I'm going to give it a shot. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, see ya.